And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Already Thursday, believe it or not, it's Halloween. So I had to do what you had to do a while ago and listen to John Anderson, The Haunted House. Do y'all remember that? It's not a lot of those. What was it? The Purple People Eater, Sheb Woolley. But really, there's not a ton of Halloween songs. Those are the two that came to my mind. It is that. Now, we're going to go over this morning after we get things going. Tonight, I want to remind you, safety, safety, safety. Now, there's a lot of things when I say safety. As simple as if you're doing some form of a hayride for Halloween and hauling the kids around and letting them trick or treat, make sure you have someone who follows behind you. Don't just take a trailer onto a road. Someone can it could be bad. We don't want anything to happen like that. Plus, in light of everything that's gone on over the last few days, do not let your children wander off alone. We don't know what can happen. And at the end of the day, as your mom used to tell you, better safe than sorry. I know that sounds old-fashioned, but we're living in some troubled times is the best way I know to word that in light of what we've gone through over the last 48 hours or so. We'll get into all that this morning beginning at 7. I hope you'll join us for that. Lots to talk about. Oh, well, I got another one. Monster Mash. I forgot about that. Let's do the Monster Mash. Yeah, I'd forgotten all about that one. Chet Parker, good morning. Good to see you. Billy joins us there. Wally is up. Now, wait a minute now. Wally, that's stretching it there. Lawrence Welk did a Halloween song, and she has the VHS tape. That one you got me on. I don't know that one. Coming up, we got your forecast. Plus, we're going to check headlines. What's shaping America? What do you need to know that's out there? We're, 5 days really away from the election? There's a lot of stuff, and I'm not going to make any predictions. I'm not going to try to make anyone vote any certain way. We want you to vote, study before you go and do that. There's so many different polls that'll confuse you. Everybody's winning according to their team. The best I can tell you. Let's go to Collinsville. Let's go to First Baptist now and get a good word today. Get all this off of us. Get a good message from up above.
We would all agree that God has called each of us to help those in need. That's clear in Scripture. You know, in James, it tells us that pure and undefiled religion before God the Father is that we help the orphans and widows and keep ourselves unspotted from the world. And you know, so many proverbs speak about helping the poor. Yet in our helping of others, we are also called to use wisdom. We never want to help to the point where we hurt. You know, what do I mean by this? Well, we don't want to become enablers of unwise or unethical uses of money or other means. There's a marked difference between someone who truly finds themselves in a dire pinch and someone who will go and spend money unwisely and then expect someone else to cover for them. Proverbs 22:26 through 27 says, don't be one of those who enters agreements who put up security for loans. If you have nothing with which to pay, even your bed will be taken from under you. In other words, entering into these agreements to cover for someone else when we may not have the means ourselves can end really badly. Our money and how we handle it is one of the ways in which we honor and worship the Lord. When we want to be givers, we want to be open to help anybody and everyone who needs it. But the Lord has also called us to wisdom. You know, may God be honored in your finances. May you use it wisely to help those in need, but to also use discretion not to hurt those in need. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Welcome back. I hope you like that a lot. See, Jeff Lewis is up. I had a special message from our studio audience. Taco says go back to bed. We'll see if he pays attention or not. We got a studio full as we get ready for the show. Greg will be in just a little bit as we'll begin everything at 7 with our local headlines. Lots to talk about that's happened this week, yesterday, and as we move forward into a weekend. Time change is this weekend. Let's not forget that. That's going to be happening this weekend as we fall back and everything becomes dark really, really early. You'll start getting sleepy about 5:30. It's amazing how darkness changes your mood. Good morning from Union. Irene, good to see you there. Well, it's official now as the L.A. Dodgers win the World Series. Got any happy people over that? Any Dodger fans out there? Beat the Yankees. Congratulations to them. In 5 games, they take home the win. Now, I'm sure somebody saw this yesterday. Did y'all see the guys in the stands of that 4th game where the ball was hit out there and they tried to take the ball out of the player's hand? They were banned from last night's game. Couldn't attend. It's a wonder they're not banned for life from the stadium. Did y'all see that? He was determined he was going to get it. He didn't, and he got banned. No, I don't care how old you are. There's no reason to act that way. Be courteous. You can't explain that to everybody, and that's why we're in the shape we're in. You ever been asleep and somebody bump you and you wake up and you don't know what's happening? United Airlines, I don't even know how to explain this. If it wasn't for the passengers on the plane, it could have been worse. The passenger was asleep. The guy gets up to go to the bathroom. He comes out and attacks the guy sleeping. Whoops him. It took 4 or 5 passengers to subdue him, to hold him down until they landed. Passengers saying it was unprovoked. They have no idea why he attacked the man. Again, we live in times that we don't know. Here is horror yesterday. I don't know if you've seen this yet. New York is where all this would happen. Niagara Falls. It's huge. The woman and her 2 children jumped over. Now, again, let me remind you of that. These 2 children were with their mother, who led them. I can only say that it must be some form of mental illness involved with this. That's all that explains it to me. What would drive someone to do this? If you want to do something to yourself, that's your business. But your children, they didn't deserve that. Let's pray for those families as we think about that. That someone somewhere, grandparents or husband, somewhere is in horror this morning over this. A life that's going to be filled with emptiness after this. It hurts me. Do y'all, and I see this every day, and I fell into this category. After I had my heart attack, nobody wants you. What I mean by that, I mean insurance companies. Matter of fact, the little bit that I've had for the last 5 years is dropping me January 1st. I got a little letter in the mail that says, we don't want you anymore. I ain't used them. Not once. I've paid cash for any visit that I've had. As I look at this story, middle-class families. Now, I've heard stories as a kid. Now, I wasn't around during this, that people could go to the hospital, have a child, and be able to pay cash, walk away with owing a couple $100 for a child, or less than $1,000. It's not that way now, is it? It's thousands upon thousands. Any movement that you make, from getting an ambulance ride from, say you go from here to go get a test, well, that's going to be $1,000 for that. And you get a pillow, that's $1,000. You get an aspirin. The bills are outrageous. I was reading a story of a family that had a child. They're saying that they're going to have to file bankruptcy after this. After their insurance paid, they still owed $40,000 for their child. No way to pay it. And they're aggressive. Used to, you could offer that $5 a month and they'd be kind of left alone so long as you paid a payment. They're a lot more aggressive. Where does this go? I don't know the answer. I don't think Obamacare is the answer. I don't know the answer. But somewhere, some way, somebody has got to come up a way for this. We need medical. We need doctors. And if you've ever been in a situation to where your life is threatened, there's no amount of money that you wouldn't pay to have it fixed or take the pain away for a loved one. Again, I don't know the answer, but it has got to be affordable where the average American can go to the hospital and still be able to live afterwards with the payments, is what I mean by that. But yet our country still gives away tons and tons of money to others when our people at home need assistance. And well, a way to figure all this out. Again, I don't have the answers, but there's someone who's smarter than me. Somewhere, some way, somewhere out there, there's a politician who knows the answers. Whoever it is, they need to step forward to fix this debacle that the United States is in with its citizens on this. And again, I don't have the answers. I just know that there is an issue with this. I know many of you have been there. And so many of you don't go to the doctor because you can't afford it, or you feel that you can't afford it. Next thing you know, it leads to something. Y'all know where I'm going with that. Why doesn't Mississippi have teeth? Because they can't afford to go. And I'm jokingly, they pick on us, but it's turned out to be a dentist visit is just about like a hospital visit nowadays. It's not like it used to be. Things are, and then they make fun of, is it snagglepuss? Is that the way to put it? Snaggletooth, snagglepuss? What's the word I'm looking for? Because they're always going to have a camera from CNN come down. Well, they couldn't afford to go. That's what happened. Again, I don't have the answers, but it's tough out there trying to make a living and make these insurance payments and things. Do y'all remember the report of the guy that was reported that a bear attacked the guy and he was found in his tent and he was deceased? It was in Montana. Well, it ain't what it was thought to be. They've made an arrest now. He made it look like it was a bear attack. He was murdered. They have not announced who it is, who they've arrested, or how he done it. But police have been working around the clock since they discovered something was suspicious about it. We hope justice is served on this. Let's see here. This is kind of like a miracle drug. Ozempic does a lot of things for a lot of people, and for the longest on the FDA side, it's been listed as a shortage. It's now been listed as available. They're still saying there is a shortage, but it now says availability out there. The prices on it is ridiculous. There's a lot of Americans who do need this, and it does several purposes. We'll see what happens over the next few months on this. Not to mention our drugs are made in another country, aren't they? Makes them harder, more expensive to get. Amazing what manufacturing would do here, like getting our own gasoline or being able to make our own part in our own country and it not be shipped on a container and be held up at a port. Simplicity might fix things in the U.S. of A. We've got the Texas Attorney General suing someone in the state of Texas. Is where I'm at on this. He's suing a second doctor for providing transgender care to minors. How do you feel about that? Texas is making a stand on that. Second doctor being sued by the Attorney General's office. We'll watch that, see where that goes also. We see horror in Mexico. Do y'all remember when the cars, where they were crushing everything? Y'all remember that for the metal? And then all of our metal being shipped out of the U.S. of A.? It's been made in other countries. This is horror here. We don't know the working conditions in these places, but in Mexico, a steel plant had an explosion. 12 are dead, is what we're being told. Horrible, horrible. Starbucks. Do y'all do Starbucks? No, I don't got any Starbucks guys over here. But it's kind of popular. A lot of people go there for their, what do you call it? The foo-foo stuff on top. The cream on top. I don't know what it's called. Seriously, I don't know. They're making fun of me over here. But they're going to stop charging extra for the non-dairy milk. And I guess there's some people that are allergic to dairy products and have to use the other stuff. And in the past, they've been charging extra for this. Feel at ease. It's going to be a little bit lighter at the counter when you get there. We have another hunter that has been, actually this time, he was mauled to death by a bear. He was deer hunting in Alaska. He shot a deer. The bear came to take it, and it got him as well. That's a horrible thing as we look at Alaska for that story this morning. Here's a cold case file. Some closing is the best I will put it for a family. 1995, a man went missing near Hoover Dam. He has been identified after 30 years. A little bit of closure to his family as we look at that. We got your forecast next. We'll look at radar, see where it's all at. Greg is here.
It better rain.
Oh, I'm getting threatening remarks from Greg about that. It's after 4 o'clock if it does. Now, if you were to move to Vicksburg, I can guarantee you a little bit. Vicksburg is looking good for some rain. We'll get into that next at the Scotty Ray Report.
When I was elected to the state Senate 9 years ago, my goal was to bring a new generation of conservative leadership to the Capitol to get things done. I'm Jennifer Branning, and I'm running for the Mississippi Supreme Court to do the same thing. I've written legislation to lower taxes and reduce regulations on farmers, manufacturers, and other businesses in Mississippi. On the Supreme Court, I'll use my experience and conservative values to always interpret the law, not to rewrite it or bend the rules for anyone.
Let's face it, accidents are going to happen. If a deer jumps out in front of your car, go see my friends and professionals at Chet's Paint and Body Shop in Center Hill. Chet can help you navigate through this confusing world of insurance by providing photo estimates to insurance companies and the right to choose the body shop of your choice. From a minor scratch to a major collision, Chet has you covered. Chet offers quality repairs by trained and certified technicians with a lifetime warranty on all repairs. That's Chet's Paint and Body Shop.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Welcome back as we go to our record highs and our record lows. It was 2016. It was hot today, 91. We go back to 1993. I can remember that. It was 28. You were probably on a wrecker back then, weren't you, Greg? Yes, sir. He was doing that towing service back in his younger years. Chilly day it was. I want to say that was the year we got a little snow. I can remember some pictures out in front of the house. I think it was about 93 we got a little snow. Here's what we got. Look at this radar. As you go west, Jackson, back that way, a little bit bigger chance of rain. We've got a 30% chance of showers occurring here, mostly on the west side, a little bit more in Clark County there. It'll go to Quitman and west, a bigger chance there, 30% chance. Now, if you live on the east side of the county, don't be mad at us. We're doing the best that we can. Greg? A lot of deer hunters upset this morning. And it's decreased. You know, at one point we were at 50 and 40. Now we're at 30 and probably 30. We'll look at all of this as we get the day started. As we look at Alabama, they don't have a chance anywhere east of Tuscaloosa. No rain whatsoever. A little bit of a smidgen of a chance near Demopolis and Livingston. Again, we're not going to give you any more than 30% chance on that. Highs of about 83 today throughout the area. Here's what it is. If you live up in the Delta there, severe storms are possible up northwest there. Mississippi Delta area, Cleveland. Not much of a chance, but through 6 p.m. Won't affect our area at all. As we look across, it's still warm across the great state of Mississippi, Louisiana, and Alabama, and it gets really hot in Georgia and all the way up through the Carolinas there. Now, here's our forecast of what we've got today. 40% chance, teetering back and forth. National Weather Service is still staying at 30%. My radar says it's going to give it 40%. So there's a little chance.
So that's 60 that it's not.
He's still, boy, Mr. Pessimistic over here. An 81 high for tomorrow, but still a 20% chance that it may not rain. Does that sound better? Slight chances, the way we'll put it, for Friday. And after that, you can forget it over the weekend. No rain there. Slight chances of rain on Tuesday and Wednesday of a 20% chance. And then the best you're going to get after that is going to be all the way till November the 12th. Deer season will be opening up that following Saturday for gun season. Still, that's not a lot. It is a dry year as we look at this. We'll get into the 70s next week around the 7th there and hover in those and get down to about 71 around the 13th and 14th. That 2-week outlook there. Now, here's what we got when it comes to fishing today. Anybody going today? 11:50 is the best time to be there through about 2 o'clock. The wind's going to be south-southeast, wind 5 to 10. But look at this, it's going to be gusty. So whether you're deer hunting or you're fishing, it's going to be kind of blowing out there. As we look at the deer hunting chances, let's look at those times. Today, this morning, pretty good time. You could do well. 11 o'clock until 1 o'clock is your time period that you need to be in the woods today. The wind picks up this afternoon with those chances of rain, and it's really not going to do your scent good in the woods. Again, sunrise at 7:11 this morning, and sunset will hit at 6:04. It says it's not a bad day to deer hunt, but again, midday hunt should be it. Now, we're watching this very carefully here as we look at the National Hurricane Center. And again, tomorrow, hurricane season ends, and we move into tornado season once again. But we're watching this storm. It just really hadn't faded away yet. It's been hovering at 40 and 50% for the last 3 to 4 days. Now let's go to radar and look, see where this rain is. A lot of people are worried about this. We'll put it in motion to where you can see it. As we go to Honda Meridian Radar, look at there. There it is up from Conway, Arkansas, Hot Springs out in Tyler, Texas. We put this in motion and we'll see. It's moving to the east there, south, southeast. We may get a little bit there, but it's kind of thin as we get into the area that would affect us later. We'll watch it carefully. A little bit of fog there showing up in northern Mississippi. Let's zoom in on that and take a look here. As we get back over here just west of Starkville, look at that. A little bit of fog this morning. Nothing horrible. We got more fog there in Dublin, Georgia on the eastern side there going into the Carolinas. And a little bit north of Beaumont. A few showers to the northwest of Galveston. Look at that. That area right there. Houston. Woohoo. Y'all grip a steering wheel if you're going through there this morning. That will keep you up at night. We're coming back with the morning show in about 10 minutes from now. We're going to go live in 5 to give you all the headlines of what's going on and the rundowns of what's happening in our neighborhoods. Stacy, how in the world are you doing? Happy Halloween to you too. And again, we're going to go over about playing this safe tonight. Halloween. We want you to be careful. We want your kids safe, and we want you, your entire family, to be safe. We'll tell you all of that coming up at the top of the hour. Join us, won't you? We'll be back live in just a few moments. We'll see you soon.